noises. Again and again, again and again, I keep having these noises. Again and again, again and again, these crazy noises.
What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker here on Unique Access Entertainment. As always, please hit that subscribe button. As y'all know, it's right down there and it's free. That enables us to keep coming to you guys as often as possible with as many interviews as possible. So please subscribe to Unique Access Entertainment. Talk about it, be about it. Each one, teach one. We appreciate you guys' support and getting us this far. If you've already subscribed, please, please, please get one of your friends to subscribe so we can keep growing. Now, today we have the honor and the privilege of being joined by rap icon, my friend, all kinds of things. Dane, thank you for coming through, sir.
What up, Soren? What's the deal, my brother? What it look like?
Man, everything is good, Dana. And today we are here to celebrate, among many things. You just put out the new single, Nightmares Again, which I know is getting some buzz and got a lot going on with that. So definitely want to focus on that today. So Nightmares, of course, your first single came out in '85. Phenomenal song. So what made you in 2021 want to revisit it?
You know, I started working on this song some years ago with Gordy Groove, actually, you know. And y'all know Fresh Gordon back in the day. He did some work with Salt-N-Pepa. He had Gordy's Groove, the single. We need to get him on Unique Access, actually. But that's another story. But and so Gordy Groove is a super producer in his own right. And when he was working on music back some years ago, and I think this is almost a decade ago, I can't remember actually when we first started working on the song. And you know, I came up with the new story for Nightmares Again. And I was like, man, I should do another one. And, you know, we went through the process. He made the track. I thought it was dope, but I never went any further with the song. Fast forward to 2018, I think it was. A partner of mine that I do some work with, his name is Xzibit, and he you know, he loved the whole Nightmares thing, you know, my original classic song. And he's like, yo, Dane, man, why you never did it like a Nightmares Ball or something like that, you know? And I was like, word, I should do that, man. That would be great. Why I never did nothing like that? And, you know, 2018, we're about to go into it. And then, of course, the world goes crazy with the pandemic. And but I wasn't really sure how I was going to do it anyway. I wasn't thinking about the song Nightmares. I was just going to do a Nightmares Ball, probably do a remix to the original Nightmares, or maybe do some wax for a commemorative or something like that. So then after we went through the whole pandemic, and you know, I shot this movie called Sin, which I produced in August, and we shot the movie. And I'm trying to figure out what am I going to do next. And the Nightmares Ball came into mind, and I was like, yo, I should do the Nightmares Ball this year. I know it's the pandemic. People still got to wear their masks anyway. So maybe they wear a mask and a mask, and we'll do the Nightmares Ball. It'll be safe. It'll be fun. And my boy had the property. It's the same guy, Xzibit, out in Las Vegas, the studio. And he said, yo, we can give it here. I said, bet. You know what we're going to do? We're going to do a Nightmares Ball. And I got a song called Nightmares Again. I'm going to get Gordy Groove to work on the song, and we're going to make that song come to life. So I called Gordy Groove because it's been about 10 years that actually got the files, and he's like, Dane, I'm not even doing music no more. I don't know where those files, I don't have no equipment. I'm not doing it, you know? So I'm like, come on, Gordy, I need you. He's like, nah, it's not my thing right now. So I said, is it okay if I get somebody else to produce the song? And he said, yeah, go ahead. And I said, okay, cool. So I called up my good friend and the other super producer, the man genius, Kwame. And Kwame's like, Nightmares Again? Okay, sounds interesting. So I sent him the one that I did with Gordy Groove. And he said, yo, this is dope. Why ain't Gordy Groove doing it? And I'm like, well, Gordy Groove doesn't produce it anymore. He's not making music. He's done. He said, really? He said, I need to talk to him. I said, I already talked to him. Gordy Groove's not listening to nobody. He's not making music anymore. So I said, come on, Kwame, will you do it for me? So he said, yeah, I'll do it for you. So he took it, and it's not the same though as what Gordy Groove did, but it has elements of the feel of what Gordy Groove originally created, like with the drum track. But we had to recreate everything from the you know, from the beginning, of course, from scratch. But he recreated the drum track. I think a little bit of the scent is by a little bit similar, but everything else, all the other flavors, all the bigness, the drops, the cuts, the scratches, all the vibe of the song is really all Kwame and me and my doing. And it came out. I didn't have any expectations of the song when I started working on it. But one thing is not to overthink it, because I did a Nightmares already. And I'm like, if I overthink it and if I start trying to compare it to Nightmares, I'm never going to finish the song. You know what I mean? So I went in, and one of my biggest issues was getting the girl, though, if you can believe that, to do the new Nightmares voice. And that was I think that was the hardest part, because people hear that it's the and that iconic Nightmares voice, and that's the biggest thing. I made a comparison, and I was trying to figure out how close do I get it to that. Do I do anything similar? And Dana Mack, an author and friend of mine, and my publicist, she agreed to do the voiceover for me, and she knocked it out of the park, man. She just had a good time. It was easy. I didn't overthink it. Once again, I was like, don't overthink it. Let her do what she's gonna do, and we made it happen. So yeah, man.
Yeah. Well, it's available worldwide for everybody now on Spotify, download, purchase, everything. So as for the lyrics and the storyline itself, in the beginning of the song, you say, you're like, keep telling yourself you're Dana. Keep telling yourself you're Dana. So what was that, and what does that mean to you?
Oh, so yeah. So, just like Nightmares, it was a nightmare inside of a nightmare, and you didn't know if I was in or out of the nightmare at any given time. I think that, what I'm doing is the same thing, as I'm telling the story. So when it comes on, it's like, I'm trying to convince myself that I'm a rapper named Dana Dane this time. Before I walked into the office, and I was already Dana Dane. And so when I walked in, the nurse, the reception said, "Oh, it's the Dana." And I'm like, how does she know me, basically? You know what I mean? So then, because it's not really that I'm him yet. So this one, I'm not sure if I'm Dana Dane or if I'm just regular Dana McLeese, a regular non-rap star. So I go in there and I said, "Tell us, Dana Dane." And he said, "Where you been?" He said, "Pardon?" Like, "Oh, you do know me, So that's how keep telling yourself Dana Dane. That's what that's about,
Okay. And then also you kind of have the jab at yourself, like, where the heck you been at the beginning? So what was that about?
And look, that goes to the same thing, It's like you do this, you in this business, and you do a whole bunch of music, and people know you, and then everybody wants to know what happened. You know what I mean? And so that's like, no matter how much work you do, I guess if you're not really the mainstream of everything, there's always going to be a certain amount of people trying to figure out where you've been, or like you haven't been doing anything. And I've been working. I've released books. I've did movies, feature films, DVD series. I'm creating, all the time. But I guess a lot of the masses don't know. So that was my way of saying, I ain't going nowhere. I'm still here. But it also plays into the story as well, because it's three parts to the story. It's like, it's more than three parts, but it's the intro, of course. And it says, keep telling yourself you're Dana Dane, because now I'm not sure if I'm Dana Dane. And then like, where have you been? And it's like, oh, wait, I am Dana Dane. So where have I been? And then it's the end where she's going, Dana, wake up. And I'm married with 13 kids, and I'm not a rapper at all. So wait, am I Dana Dane or am I not Dana Dane? You know what I'm saying? So that was the whole thing up behind the story.
Yeah, because also in the first verse of Nightmares, again, you talk about it's hard to differentiate what part's real, which part's fake. And that to me was one of the brilliant parts of the original Nightmares, and interesting parts of this one as well. So do you remember?
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Do you remember for the original version and for this version why you wanted to blur those lines as a writer?
Yeah, because I wanted to leave the audience unsure. You know what I mean? It's like when you watch the movies, it's always like some sort of a cliffhanger with these horror flicks, like, you know, was like in Nightmares on Elm Street, was it Freddy real, or was it just a figment of your imagination, you know, which goes back to the first one, just show imagination, not reality. So this one, I don't have to sing if it's my imagination. People know it's nightmares again and again, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy, it's keep happening, what's going on? So yeah.
Okay. And I think probably my favorite word choice is that you had differentiate in there. Which, 'cause I always like it, especially when artists use words that are unusual, but then you can also use them as the rhyming word. So for you as a writer, how do you like find or decide to use those unconventional words?
A lot of it is trying to stay away from words I've used already in my rhymes before, you know what I mean? And if you know, sometimes you can't escape it, of course, with the twos and the goes and the flows and the blows and the goes, but sometimes there's an opportunity to use other than repeat or instead of, you go differentiate and, you know, and so when I look for the inline. I learned that from Slick Rick. Look for the inline and then find the rhyme line before. And the line was, what part's real, what part's fake. The differentiate was just the word that I that came to mind and made sense for me. So.
Okay, got it. And then of course, with the original Nightmares, you had Anita the Beast, and she ends up crashing your wedding in Nightmares Again. So how did you decide how to utilize that character in Nightmares Again?
So when I write my stories, a lot of the times I already know the ending. So I knew that at the end what was going to happen at the end of the story, but I just didn't know how I was going to get there. You know, so then I said, "Oh, I know what I need to do. I need to get married. You know, I just need to get married." To who? Oh, how can I bring Anita the Beast back? I got to get married to her arch nemesis, the one who stole her man, Denise, right? So now I've been with Denise all these years, you know, even though, you know, Anita the Beast ran up on us and whatever. It's like, man, whatever happened to Denise in Dane and Anita the Beast? Well, what happened was me and Denise kept dating to the point that now we're getting married. I love this lady. And it's our happiest day. And you know how much I love that we spent all this money and I got a gown and everybody's happy for us. We got Will Smith, we got Jada, we've got Oprah, we've got D Nice, we've got, Ice-T, P.E., we've got Rihanna, we've got, everybody is there. And so nothing can go wrong. You know what I mean? It's the best thing ever. And who can spoil it for you? Anita the Beast.
She's been known to do that. Yeah.
She can mess up a wet dream.
Yeah, well, she definitely seems to have done that again. Yes. And then since Kwame did some of the production and you work with him obviously a lot over the years and have known him for decades at this point, how was the collaboration with him and what did you guys go back and forth about?
3 decades, actually. Wow. You know what I mean? Me and Kwame go back. He actually directed one of my videos, Tales from the Dane side, on my second album, 1990, 89, 90. But anyway, so like I said, my main objective on making the song was to not overthink it. You know what I mean? Because I know, that's the reason why the song never came out in the first place, because I kept overthinking it, you know? And I didn't want to do that again. So with this, what I had to do, first, I had to get a new track. So once he made the track, I said, whatever track Kwame comes back with, just try not to push back too hard because, you're going to end up messing up the vibe. You know, that's my main thing, keeping the vibe just cool and relaxed and easy. But fortunately, you know, Kwame is as dope as he is. He delivered the track, and I was like, yeah, this is it. And I just started, you know, I had to redo my cast. Well, not my cast, my guest list. So the whole story stayed the same for the most part, but my guest list had to change because I had to update it to people who are, you know, I guess considered the A crowd these days. You know what I mean? So I wanted, before I had, you know, other friends and blah 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 and this, that, and the third. So I extended my guest list and rewrote some of the ending, and then I sent it to Kwame. He said, I like it. Don't like your energy rapping. I was like, word? He said, yeah. So I said, okay, I'm gonna come to your house and do it. So I went to his crib, and so he, you know, he got me to the right energy that he felt was not like the first joint. It's like now, but kind of the same. And I was like, okay, that works for me. And then after that, it was getting the hook done, getting the girl voice, and then it was the mix. I think the biggest pushback was in the mix because it wasn't because of anything that was done wrong, but I think because during the mix, some of the plugins kept dropping out, so the volume would drop out on different stuff. So I kept telling him, yo, this is too low. He's like, what are you talking about, man? You bugging out? I was like, nah, I can't be bugging out. I can hear this stuff. And I sent him back. He's like, oh, yeah, the plugins dropped out. Something dropped out. Let me put it back. But I think that was the biggest thing. I don't even think that, but Kwame will probably tell you different because I'm a nitpicker. You know what I mean? I'm a perfectionist. So at times I just, you know, I get things in my head sometimes, and I try to bring them exactly in my head as they are in my head, and it can be done sometimes, but sometimes you just got to know when to say when. And I just didn't want to get caught up in that because I can be really picky. I can be really picky, and I didn't want to be picky on a song. I just wanted to be kind of like when I did the first song. You know, I know what I want. Go in there, lay it, drop it, let it be what it is. And Kwame helped me get there with that. Because I was like, yo, should we change the girl? And he was like, you're doing it, Dana.
Now, that being said, several artists have made like a series out of songs. Most famously, or one of the most famous, is Jane with EPMD. So do you think you'll continue this with more Nightmares installations and install?
You know, I never really thought about it. I mean, there's a possibility, but I don't know. Let me think. Maybe I do some remixes to bring some other artists on and I have them join in or something like that. I don't even know. Because, you know, when I did this one, I wasn't really thinking about doing a part two. It wasn't like I constantly said I need to do a part two. It was just that I was home and the creative energy came and said, what if you got married to Denise and Anita the Beast crashes your wedding? That would be incredible. And so I started writing it. So if an idea comes, I'll hit it up, you know, and do it. You know, I love telling stories. I thought it was a great time to tell a story, actually, because not many people are telling stories in raps, or not too traditional type of stories, I guess. Only a couple of artists, of course, still. J. Cole, Eminem, maybe a couple of other cats out there. But people are not really telling stories per se. So I thought, you know, just something fun to do. So we got it in, you know.
Well, there it is. Well, congratulations on Nightmares again, Dana. We really appreciate you coming through Unique Access.
Thank you very much. You know, go hit me up at deathbeatent.com. That's the website. Dane Media on all social media. And yeah, keep following. New movie coming out too soon, y'all. So check me out. All right.
Be sure to check out the History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the D.O.C, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
It will be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
What's that 5 on your TV back with NWA?
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The history of gangster rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the street. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The history of gangster rap in stores now.